In the news at noon, President Muhammadu Buhari ascends to Executive Order 11 on national public buildings maintenance. Federal government detects 1,500 federal workers with fake appointment letters. Akwa Ibom State government mandates State Minister of Works and Fire Service to immediately upgrade their equipment. On the foreign scene, Western leaders set to impose further sanctions on Russia. And sports, NFL begins search for new Super Eagles coach details coming up shortly. Good afternoon, welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1Fm. I am Bright James. We begin this afternoon with the reports that the Akwa Ibom State Executive Council has directed the State Ministry of Works and Fire Service to immediately upgrade their equipment. The ministry was also directed to embark on manpower development program for the staff of the Fire Service Department to improve their firefighting capacity and capabilities. These were part of the resolutions of the State Executive Council meeting, presided over by Governor Domimano at the Government House, Uyo. Briefing Government House correspondent at the end of the council meeting, Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Melbourne said residents of the state also have a responsibility to prevent the recurrence of such fire incidents as experienced in the state recently by providing basic safety and preventive measures in their facilities. The Executive Council also adopted an environmental guide for infrastructure's development in the state, which seeks to prevent the execution of improperly terminated drains identified as one of the major causes of environmental hazards. Melbourne also revealed that accreditation for all courses at the state schools of nursing and midwifery have been restored following the intervention of the state government. In the meantime, Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel says the state government is making deliberate effort to expand infrastructure to accommodate the increasing influx of people into the state. Governor Emmanuel will say this at the inauguration of the board of the Dakada Luxury Estate at the state government house. You said the rapid and continuous increase in population of the state is putting pressure on infrastructure in the area. The governor assured that his administration would continue to provide infrastructure like schools and residential estates for all segments of the population. Governor Emmanuel noted that the proposed Dakada Luxury Estate is a low-density estate with state-of-the-art facilities designed to provide maximum comfort to residents. The governor therefore charged members of the board to maintain the set standards to ensure the sustainability of the project. Government House correspondent Jane Ward reports that on his part, the chairman of the board of the estate, Paul Usora, promised to exceed the expectations of the government. To the national scene, where President Muhammadu Buhari has assented to Executive Order 11 on national public buildings maintenance. The signing of the document preceded the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting held today at the council chambers of the State House in Abuja. In his remarks shortly before appending his signature, President Buhari directed all ministries, departments, and agencies and BAs of government to set up a maintenance department in line with the provisions of the new Executive Order. On COVID-19, the Presidential Steering Committee, PSC, on COVID-19 has reviewed the country's response to the pandemic in view of the declining number of cases. In a statement dated April 2nd, the committee explained that the decision followed the reduced risk of importation of new variants as well as the availability of vaccines and the increasing number of people vaccinated in Nigeria and globally. The government said the social restriction recommendations were revised in line with the three established thematic areas: movement, industry and labor, as well as community activities. He said that these safety protocols provide a baseline from which state governments could further build on to strengthen their responses based on their local circumstances. Away from that, the federal government has detected over 1,500 workers who presented fake letters of employment to its verification committee. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemiason, revealed this at the National Policy Dialogue on Entrenching Transparency in Public Office Recruitment in Nigeria organized by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) in Abuja. Yemi Hassan said the federal government has suspended the salary of 3,000 civil servants who failed to present themselves for verification, stressing that the verification exercise is to eradicate fake and illegal recruitment in government agencies. Non-politics ahead of the 2023 general elections. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has advised political parties to ensure their primaries are properly conducted in line with relevant laws. The advice was contained in a statement signed by INEC's National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye. Okoye warned that the electoral agency will not hesitate to disqualify parties in primaries that do not adhere strictly to the principles of internal democracy. He also advised parties to avoid contentious primaries that may lead to unnecessary lawsuits. You're listening to the news on Planet Radio 101.1Fm. Let's take a breather and then bring more stories from our foreign sports and entertainment scenes. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Now, on the foreign and Western leaders are set to announce a further set of sanctions against Russia today. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said the measures will target Russian financial state-owned bodies, as well as some officials and oligarchs, adding that the move will hold accountable the Russian kleptocracy that funds and supports Putin's war. Calls for further sanctions have grown in recent days amid allegations of Russian atrocities in Bucha. The town's mayor told newsmen that Russian forces had killed around 320 civilians during their occupation of the town, while the discovery of mass graves has caused an outage in western capitals. Sake told reporters during a news conference that the sanctions, which are expected to include a ban on all new investment in Russia, will degrade key instruments of Russian state power, impose acute and immediate economic harm on Russia. Now to sport, where the Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) has tasked a technical and development subcommittee to begin the search for the new Super Eagles coach after the former technical crew members led by Austin Wavon were relieved of their positions after the Eagles failed to qualify for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. The executive committee of the NFF took the decision after the met in Abuja to deliberate on important issues in Nigerian football. This is to ensure preparations for the next qualifying tournaments and championships commence in earnest. Now, on the entertainment scene, reality show star and mother for Kim Kardashian has disclosed that she has found peace with comedian Pete Davidson. The reality star gushed over her relationship with the Saturday Night Live comedian during her sit-down interview with Robin Roberts. In a preview of the interview, the mother of four said she feels at peace amid her romance. 28-year-old Davidson and 41-year-old Kardashian were first romantically linked last October after they were spotted holding hands on a roller coaster at Knott's Scary Farm in Bonaparte, California. They also shared an on-screen kiss earlier that month when she made her hosting debut.